modification to the Bren slide hammer assembly. This is your bolt carrier spring and your bolt carrier spring rod, and there is a spring separator tube that's the spring goes inside of, and is also goes inside the slide hammer spring, which is in here in the buffer tube. But what I did was I got rid of the plastic bushing I had in there, and I made a brass bushing, and it's kind of a tap press into the slide hammer and a light press into the the slide hammer tube. So what I was doing was I made this a little longer so it would come back here and hit this plate. This plate has a spring behind it, so it allows it to move in. If this impacts that, I call it the buffer for lack of anything else to call it. So this, in theory, would come back and hit this and drop the receiver and it should buffer the slide hammer, kind of decelerate it a little bit. That's my theory anyway. So I had it out to the range, and you'll see it in the video. I'm sorry, I'm just hanging on to it right now. And it seemed to work, but I was having a lot of ammunition failures. So I need to actually reliably test this, I'm going to need to have some reliable ammo. So anyway, that's what I did. I just made a longer bushing, made it an assembly, and it seems to function okay. I'm still doubtful, I don't know. It works better than it did, but without actually having some reliable ammunition, I'm really at a loss to tell anything. Well, hello everybody. Got the Bren out here again, and last time out it stopped working after a few shots as far as taking the ammo out of the magazine and a few other things I don't remember. I just know it quit working. And that's with the new slide hammer assembly I've been working on. So I went back to the drawing board, and what I did was I added some more weight to the slide hammer. I reduced the spring tension on the firing pin spring. I just cut a few links out. I already had a few cut out. And I took the receiver spring tube, and it was free floating inside here, and I don't think it's supposed to do that. Maybe it was, but I made it permanent inside the buffer tube. So now I'm going to try it again. So how I added mass to the slide hammer, what I had on it before was I had a little plastic bushing on the slide hammer's spring tube, and it went into the hammer. So I took the plastic bushing out, and I made a brass bushing, and I made it a little longer so it'll hit on the buffer spring back here. I'm not even sure it's going to work. So as far as full cycle and load the next round, I'm not sure it's going to work. The main reason is because it's not going all the way back, but I think it's going back till it hits that buffer. So I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do, right now it's in safe. I think it would have fired with my other ammo, but I'm shooting these again, this ammo right here. I think it has a harder primer on it, and it just after a while it just wouldn't shoot it. So I'm just going to put 3 rounds in to see if it'll cycle, see what happens. But reducing the firing pin spring tension should help some. And I think the extra mass on the slide hammer gives it a little more force when it's coming forward. Those are all theories at the moment, and we're about to test those. Plus, keeping the bolt carrier return spring tube or bolt carrier spring tube back in here, it's not free floating. It's not going to bind up the springs. Again, theory. So we'll see how it goes. First off, I want to check. Yep, it loaded around. Okay, now I'm going to shoot at a target just for something to aim at. See if it cycles. I did turn the gas down too because it was over gassed the last time out. So that may or may not cycle because the gas is turned down. Yeah, that's pretty violent. And that one didn't load. That was the last round. Oh, it did load, but it didn't engage the trigger. So maybe it's not coming back far enough to, oh no, there's a slight dent in there. Let's try it again. I may have made the bushing on the hammer a little too long. But that has to come back and trip the trigger so that reset the trigger so it'll fire. Okay. And again, it could be under gas because I did turn the gas down. Looks like we're good. I didn't see where that bullet went. All right. It may be under gassed. So I'll turn the gas up and see what happens. I have to pull the barrel to do that. So there's 2 shells. I don't know where the third one went. Anyway, I'm going to pull the barrel and adjust the gas. I don't want that under tension. Let me. Okay. All right. Now the gas valve is right here, so I'm going to crank it to this one and see what it does. Because if it's under gas, it's not going to cycle properly. And that could be what happened. Okay. Now we're at the second, actually we're at the first mark. No, second mark. There right there. There we go. All right, we're in. Okay, so we got the gas up and try 3 more. I'm 7 minutes into this video already. Wow. All right. I got good spring tension. I've got the safety on. Alright. There's one. Two. Ow, those are hot. Okay. So those all suck. So far so good. But you remember last week, it took a while and then it wouldn't. So try it again. I know I've made a ton of videos on this, but this is the progression I have been going through to make it fire this ammo here, because this ammo would work just fine in the bolt action gun. So it wasn't the ammo like I suspected in the beginning. It was a light strike. So we got a break coming up, so I have to pause the camera and we'll shoot after the break. Okay, I got 10 rounds in here now. Oh. Yeah, I may have to take some off the back of that bushing. That one was locked up. I don't know if I had a squib. Might have been a squib. Had a case for it. This old ammo is brittle. So I don't know how many. I need to check to make sure I don't have a squib. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a range rod. Actually, it's just easier to pull the barrel. Well, it's supposed to be. Yeah, we got, there we go. Oh, there's no squib. That's why I had a case failure. So, yeah, at the time, it was the end. It was split right there and how it's bent. It jammed in the gun. Okay, so the gun is clear. Try it again. This ammo, it's something with surplus ammunition, you're going to run into this kind of stuff. Like I said last time, you want to have a case removing tool, case tool, especially with the 303. I've run into that a lot with 303. So you can extract that case out at the range instead of having to go home and get it done or taking it to a gun store. It's really not that hard to do. Alright, we're ready to fire again. Okay, that was 10. And that's how you clean things up. All right. Goodness clear. Okay. And ow, check the ammo, the spent cases. You can, the expansion in the chamber is not bad. I've seen a lot worse with MK3. And so far so good. 10 rounds. Okay, maybe I did get it right. I don't want to speak too soon. I think we've solved the problem, but I haven't loaded 20 rounds in the magazine and tried that. So I think the extra mass helped a lot. Loosening the firing pin spring helped because these primers are hard. And this ammo, I have no idea where it's from, but
you have 1 minute.
Maybe you know. It's dated 1980 to 81, depending on which box you get. It's got A and then 8/80. I had one person say it might be South African ammo. I don't know. I don't know. I do know it's not reloadable though. And there's a break coming up, so I'm just going to stop and wait till after the break. I want to keep firing this old ammo and get rid of it and just keep working with this and making sure that I think I finally got this dialed in. Alright, gonna try 25 rounds now. Some springtime in here. And the chances of me getting through this without a failure of the ammunition is slim. Chances of this actually cycling, I don't know. Feels like it loaded. And I'm hoping with the inertia of the extra weight on the hammer that it will be enough to shuck the next shell out of the magazine. Alright. Yep. And we had a failure to feed right away. May have actually had a case separation already. Alright, so I got to knock that shell out. I'm pretty sure I had a case separation. Yes, I did. Alright, because the case head right there. Right there. Now I got to pull that case out of there. And that is not uncommon with this ammo. It's not the failure of the assembly, it is the failure of the ammunition. The barrel's hot, but I don't know if you can see that case in there. So now I've got to get my case extractor and try and knock that out of there. Alright, I got the barrel out, and here's my broken case extractor, and you can see right there, it's got a little taper on it, and then this right here. And what you do is you put it in there, and then you screw this in, this will expand on the case, and then you tap it out. So right now, you crank that up till it's tight, and then I'm going to take a rod and go on the other end, and hopefully it grabs the case. Nope, not enough. You may have to get a pair of pliers on it. just to get it to grip. But I had to do the last one. Get that on there. I gotta go get some pliers. It's not tight on the case. Okay, I've got a pair of pliers. I'll back that up a little bit. Okay, that's free. It's off the taper. I'm going to shove that down in there, and then I'm going to turn that so it will expand inside the case, and then I'm going to give it a little extra grip here. See if I can grab that case enough that I can drive it out of there. And we'll see with the range rod. Nope, still not. We'll try again. You just keep at it till it okay. I think I cross-threaded my case extractor. I do have another one. Yep, I have to get that one out. Alright, I got another one. Let's stick that down in there and try it again. I guess you can't really use too much. I don't know if I straighten it or what. It takes a minute to get that to, and you're trying to grab on that. Alright, I gotta get serious about this. I'm trying to keep it on camera, but you gotta really get down there and grab that case. And it's got a grip on there enough that you can drive it out. Just keep going. Nope. It's gripping. Yeah. This is what happens when you're dealing with old ammunition. You got to be prepared for this. I don't know, maybe I'm not up in there far enough. Maybe I need to go, maybe I need to go down in there a bit more. Alright. Not really wanting to do anything. Yeah, it's not grabbing. Now that, gotta get it to grab that case and then expand on the case enough.
You have 1 minute till it's expired. You have 1 minute.
Feels like it's on there. Yeah, I got this hinge rod. Nope, still didn't grab it. Alright, I'm going to try and do this off camera. Okay, I got it out. You can see it has to grip on this, and that's why you're turning that. You got to get it tight enough that it'll grip, and then now you got to get it loose. There it goes. And that, you can see the grippers on there. It goes up inside there, and then you tighten it down, and there's a taper on this little mandrel here, and it expands the grippers. So you can, I take a range rod, and you tap on this, and then eventually it'll come out. So there you can see the case head separation. Not uncommon, but it wasn't a gun failure, it was an ammo failure, which I'm okay with that. It's the function of the gun I've been concerned with. All right, well, you know, we're still learning stuff, right? So there is a limit to how many I can actually put in this magazine, and then it starts to fail. So I know I can do 10, maybe 20. And we also have old ammo issues. And you've learned today how to extract a separated case. How? That one felt weird. Okay, that was a live round. At least I think it was. Yep, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Jammed in the magazine. Yeah, it's jamming against the next bullet next to it. Still not a failure of the firearm. Now we got it jammed in the magazine. Let's see if this magazine makes a difference. Oh, that was too far. There we go. Okay. See if that makes a difference. And nice having two mags. All right. Okay. I'm saying that it was a success, that what I actually did worked. I don't know with this particular setup, with the slide handle setup, I don't know that you can actually do more than 20 or 25 in a magazine. 25 didn't work. The spring tension, you're fighting the spring tension of the magazine. If there were a way to increase the spring tension of my bolt carrier, that would be the way to go. But if you do a stronger spring, then it doesn't collapse enough that you can get a full on the charging handle. So I'm saying that's a success. Okay, 25 didn't work. Let's try this mag 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's just do 15. That's half a load in here. This is a 30 round mag. Let's see if 15 works. I didn't feel any drag. Let's shoot it and see if it picks up the next round. Ooh, that was loud. Okay, now I want to see if it picked up the next round. And it did not. And it did not. It did. But it didn't change it. No. Oh, shit. I had some case head separation. That's why it was loud. Right there. Oh. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, I'm going to take it home and work on it. It's just, this ammo is, you know, hit and miss. And it's going to take me too long to extract that case, so I'm just going to do it at home. But I think I went in the right direction with the slide hammer and stuff. So, lessons I've learned, and lessons you could learn through me when you're shooting old 303 or any old ammo. Bring along a broken case extractor. 9 times out of 10 you can get it out at the range. Or like this one, it's going to take a little effort. I'll just take it home and do it. Again, just doing function test. And I don't want to spend all day on this, and I've spent enough time on it here. And you guys are probably tired of all the Bren videos, but I just thought you might be interested in the progression. And I do think I went in the right direction. So, okay. Thanks for watching. Hope I didn't bore you.